Hello, hello, hello. I'm Lynn Browder, and I have a son, Owen, who is now 11, and he has autism. And I paint with him. He helps me paint the backgrounds with a hand-over-hand method, and then I paint the rest. He has a hard time with things like holding utensils or writing his name and that type of thing. So I started painting with him several years ago, and I hadn't really painted prior to that. And it has started out for him, but it has definitely given me more than I can even explain or even imagine. Like, I never thought that painting would be like my go-to craft, but it has given me so much to be thankful for, and then to be able to do this with my son is even better. And if you've watched any of my videos before, a lot of times I really don't know like what I'm gonna paint. I just kind of sit down and paint. And I always say I'm still learning my craft here, because you know, I just teach myself every time I sit in front of the canvas a little bit more, or try to figure out how something looks or what I want to do different. And so it's always kind of a learning and growing experience for me. And so that's what I do, is just kind of randomly do a lot of flowers, do some animals and different things, but just kind of play it by ear. And I always joke that I'm the person that likes to watch paint dry, and I really like to watch paint dry. I think it's kind of funny. But I like to see how it goes with everything else. And also, when I'm painting, a lot of times especially with my flowers, I always just use like one brush, because I like to see how the colors kind of blend together, like all of that. And then I didn't really clean it off when I did the blue, and there's the pinks or the reds, and it's just how I paint. One of these days, I keep telling myself that I'm gonna make myself really take a class or watch some videos of a different, kind of technique, and really learn how to kind of master the art of design, or however it's supposed to be. But for now, I just have fun. And like I said, this gives me such an experience, because I do this with my son, and this just means that much more to me, to know that we've painted together. I had a different board before, and I need to get it back. This one sits a little... I got used to painting flat, and so this one goes up too high, and I don't like it as well. So it wobbles some, and I need to get my old one back. and try it again. Or just, it's smaller than this one. So I thought, you know, that's why I kind of decided I would do this one. Is I liked the bigger area. Occasionally, most of the time I paint these smaller canvases. This is an 8 by 10, but occasionally I paint bigger ones, and so I kind of wanted to have a little more room for some of those. But I don't have to use this one all the time. I could do it when I did something bigger. I don't have, my mom has a very green thumb, and she can name all these plants and everything. And so I have quite the opposite. And so I can't name the plants like she can. And not that any of these are like that real flower, but I attempt to make some of them a little more realistic. My son, Owen, he woke up around 1 this morning, and I'm a little bit tired, but and I have a frog in my throat. Excuse me. I'm hoping that he sleeps all night long. I'm really, really hoping that he will sleep for the night. But his summers, he really loves school, and so anytime his routine is changed, it's hard for him. And he's actually in summer school right now, but he thrives on routine and all of those moments. And so right now, just going through trying to figure it all out, what helps, what works, and he gets stuck on a day, and he he can't decide what to do, or you know, he wants, like today, he wanted to go to church, and so he kept asking from 5 o'clock on, or sorry, 1 o'clock on, I can't even think, 1 o'clock on, when he was going to church. And that's hard because, you know, he needs his sleep, I need my sleep, but he can't always process it like that he has to go back to sleep, or he should go back to sleep. And so it was a long night, but he was happy because he knew he was going to go to church, so that was his exciting time. Sometimes I try to like envision something different as to like how a flower might look, and so I have to kind of go through and change and adapt something. See if I like it. And that's me liking to watch paint dry. I really have no rhyme or reason as to where my paint is gonna end up on the canvas. And some days I'm a little more random than others, and today feels very random with all of this. But that's okay. That's how it should be, or will be. It's very heavy on this side and not as heavy on that side. Not that it really matters, but that's sometimes I worry more about like if I'm covering something else up, or if I need to like put something one direction or another. And then there's times like this where everything is just so sporadic that it doesn't really even have a rhyme or a reason or a moment in time. I don't know how something got like it did. It just did. So thankfully we got to church, and then he did fine for that. And then he wanted to go ride his bike, which has been kind of an up and down thing for him the last couple weeks. He likes riding his bike, but he has very specific ideas of how he wants to ride it, or where he wants to ride it, or what he wants to do. And I get it, because we all have our own, agendas or what we want. But he can't always explain that. And so it's hard. It's hard to know what he's referring to or wanting when he's trying to explain something. So, but after we got out of church, we went, they have a nice little park set up at our church, and so we were able to go and have him ride around for a little bit, and he had fun. And then we left to go get some lunch, and then came home and had a quiet rest of our afternoon, and he did really good. So I was thankful for that. Especially since we had a long night. So, now I don't always do this, but I am going to, and it makes a mess, drop the droplets all over. They just go flying. I don't ever wear nice clothes when I'm painting, because I tend to get it all over. Well, I don't generally wear a lot of nice clothes anyways, but because I usually have a mess of some sort going on. So, but it's flying. Sometimes I just like the effect this has, just to add a little attitude or something. I really don't know. Sometimes I want bigger blobs, and sometimes it doesn't really go like that. But chaos. I feel it in my hair. It's going everywhere. It's probably on the lens of my okay, I think we're sufficiently dotted. I think that's about right. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching. Toodles!